Hey everybody. So I was sitting here thinking, well, what topic should I even cover? Of all the topics that are ideas and what have you are swarming my head right now on things to tell you about that I've experienced. And I was messing with this stupid little remote that's supposed to start and stop the 360 camera that I bought, right? So I got it to work and I kept hitting for it to stop. Oh, I was hitting the button the wrong way evidently. Evidently have to hold it and hold it down for it to register. And I was just one click thinking, okay, we're good. Anyhow, uh, after I regain my thought here, yeah, that's going to be the first video. My frustration with getting back out there and starting YouTube. Man. So, anyhow, where were we? I knew I wanted to restart YouTube. Just how I was going to do it, I had no clue. I didn't think it'd be this big of a hurdle, actually. And so that obviously came to mind. That should be the very first topic that we try to see if I can get this one off. If I can make this video, hopefully the other ones will be a lot easier. I'm just hoping on that aspect of it, but we'll see how that goes. I guess we need to back up a little bit and tell you what's all happened and why I've gotten back into trying to do this. I originally started YouTube back 18 years ago. Did it quite a bit. My wife and I went RVing, and that was the main topic of the channel, was me filming our monthly adventures in our fifth wheel in Florida state parks, and did quite a few videos, put music out there that I enjoyed and loved, and then that's when YouTube started changing things, and I'm getting off topic. I guess I'm really not getting off topic, but I was back in that era where, yeah, so I still have them out there if anybody's curious on what videos I did curate back in the day. And it had rock and roll music that, I enjoy, and it made the video, and I enjoyed editing it and all that good stuff. So when my wife passed away at the beginning of this year, I already knew for a fact that I wasn't going to do the same thing that she did, because she worked until she was 70. In fact, she was still employed for Winn-Dixie when she passed in February of this year from bone cancer. And well, we'll get more into that in future, videos, man. Maybe. But okay, I need to stop now. What do you hear? Sorry about that. Oh, but hey, this is real life, man. What can I tell you? So I'm just doing this a little bit at a time, trying to figure it out. And man, anyhow, where were we? Yeah, okay, so, but yeah, so my wife passed at the beginning of the year, and I was working at Dollar Tree as a store manager. Been there for 16 years. But I knew that I wasn't going to see myself continuing to work, and so I already made that decision that, nope, I'm going to retire, I'm going to travel, and hopefully enjoy the life that I was hoping that my wife and I would have together. And then I was thinking, well, at the same time, what do I want to do as far as a hobby or whatever? And this is what I came up with, is I wanted to get back into YouTube. And I didn't think it'd be that difficult. I really didn't, because like I said, I did it before, and it didn't seem to be that difficult back when I was younger, but I don't know, maybe technology has gotten the better of me, but because it really has. You know, one of the first things I did was clean out our computer room. My wife was working at home. Finally got in there, was able to get rid of everything that she had to mail it off to Winn-Dixie. And, oh, they just sent me a box too, by the way. Oh, you know, oh, somebody will come by and help and this and that and the other, and no, nothing happened. Next thing I know, there's a package in the front door, empty box with, oh, put other computer equipment in this box and send it to us. So that was part of the, you know, but that's for a totally different video. Like I said, there's a lot that's happened this last year. And that was the main part of it, was her passing, my decision to retire, and then going through the ups and downs of everything that was going on with all that. But getting back on topic, hopefully. I get in there, clean everything out, hook up my Dell computer that hadn't been hooked up for at least 7 or 8 years, and I start messing with it. And that's the other heartache that I had with trying to get that thing to run and operate. And I was just thinking, you know, man, it'd be nice to be able to just sit down and play one of my old games that I used to play. I actually thought, you know, hey, look, my wife can't complain that I'm in there playing the computer. Because there was a time in my life that, yeah, I'd be in there hours on end. When you gonna come to bed, you know? Don't know. I'm in the middle of this game right now. And that's what, and yeah, that's what life was like. I have to rethink here a minute. Anyhow, leave you there. Oh, sorry about that, guys. But I don't know how to do this other than just do it this is what it's like. The real approach to struggling and trying to certain things that are still gonna start getting me to where I have to, anyhow. Hasn't been easy, and no one's helped. But again, that's a totally different topic. So anyhow, I'm sorry, where were we? Oh yeah. So I knew that, like I said, I didn't want to do what my wife did. She didn't do it on purpose. her idea was that she still felt good and she wanted to continue to work, and she enjoyed working from home, and she had done that, you know, for quite some time. Well, she was basically doing that as soon as COVID hit. She came home and kept working ever since, worked even after, never went back to work, but was always working here at home. And of course, now we're going to have a jet come by, which is not that normal nowadays, but we still, really? Okay. Not waking her up any. Sorry about that. I do live next to Cecil Field. And Cecil Field's closed. When I do hear jets nowadays, it's actually them testing, because Hughes Aircraft Company, they actually work out of there now, and that's where they test a lot of their new airplanes that they're making. So it's not like it used to be back in the day. But again, here we are getting off topic. And then I'll lose my train of thought because a stupid jet comes by. Okay, I think they're finally done with doing the jet testing overhead. Meanwhile, you sleeping up a storm? Yeah. Anyhow, where were we? Oh, yeah. So, no, I decided that's what I was going to do. I wasn't going to work no more. I was going to, enjoy life and travel with my dogs, Sandy and Dory, and then and then restart my YouTube channel, record my experiences of what it's like, going through what I've went through, and experience, basically restarting life all over again, So one of the first things I found out when I hooked up the old computer is that, well, guess what? For the best of my capability, it was not going to be, it would run for a little bit, I'd play a game a little bit, and then everything just freeze up. No big deal. Get me a new computer, step number one. So I go out there and grab me a new computer. That new computer came about a week or so. No, actually about 2 weeks. About 2 weeks, yeah, about 2 weeks later. After I finally figured out which one I wanted to, Oh, that was the other main thing too. I forgot about that. Windows 11. Yeah, mine was Windows 10. So anytime I went out there prior to look for to try to fix or upgrade anything, they were basically telling me, guess what? Nope, you cannot do that because we're not supporting your operating system anymore. So even if I was able to figure out how to fix it, there was no support or new drivers or new updates that I was able to, So, okay, that's fine. Give me a new computer. It's been a while. It's time to just go ahead and spend the money. Give me a new computer. Step number one. So I did that. Hooked that up. And got that new computer. You know what I found out? It don't have any CD-ROMs no more. Yeah, so my game collection I thought I was going to play. Nope. That didn't work. I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? New computers do not have a CD-ROM. That's old school technology. And of course, if it probably did have a disc player, it would say that it was No, this is Sim City back in X, and it's not going to work. Oh my gosh. But I did figure out how to work around that. Of course, I had to buy new games if I wanted to do, anyhow, we're getting off the topic again. We keep getting off topic. And then that's, everybody, it's like, keep getting off topic. Anybody has an iPhone, just stick with your iPhone. That's the best way to do things. It really is. I'll show you the photos. It takes outstanding photos, outstanding video. Why you need to do anything else? That was the other thing. To go to YouTube, I knew I wanted to film my dogs. Holding the phone and holding a leash kind of, was like, how am I going to do that? So I started watching YouTube, watching these people that were recording YouTube and making these outstanding videos. And what they were using is the camera that I'm using right now was an Insta 360. Well, okay, so I've already got myself a new computer, so we're good there. So it can handle everything because I made sure that it had over a terabyte of storage on there. So, hey, it should be good. It's brand new, Windows 11 and all that. Let's go ahead and spend that money on the Insta 360 camera, because I want to know that I'm able to. Y'all coming in from outside now? I'm in the middle of a video and you're going to interrupt it, huh? Anyhow, so that, so I go out there and I purchase that. And I'm like, okay, I'm good now. I got myself a new camera system because you remember back in the day when I told you that originally, when, I started YouTube back in the day, there was no such thing as an iPhone, smartphone, whatever, So all the original content that I made back in the day was with a Sony camcorder. If anybody remembers the Sony camcorder, it's in storage right now in the computer room. As far as I know, it still works. I'm waiting for the day when I get ready to take it out and try to see if I can bring back up some old footage and rework it somehow. But actually, I have two cameras in there. I have a Sony camcorder that takes the C cassette tapes back then, and then I bought a newer version later throughout the years that actually was on a internal hard drive. Okay, so and that was the other thing back in the day too. You were limited to only 10 minutes. 10 minutes total time is the YouTube thing. They didn't say nothing about no restrictions with music, this and that and the other, but you had to have it within 10 minutes. And only a certain frame rate too. The camcorder, if I remember correctly, the camcorder, both the especially the new one later, I always had to reduce the actual capability of the camera to be able to even put it out there on YouTube. So even though the camera back then was able to produce a better quality video image, as far as video quality, it wasn't allowed because the platform wasn't designed back then to let you upload that magnitude. Magnitude, is that correct? Are we getting totally off the subject? I think we are again. No, I guess we're not. No, anyhow. Yeah, I need to rethink. Hey, sorry about the edits. It's the only way I can do it right now. I keep losing my train of thought. And hey, so anyhow. Y'all not helping that. You're supposed to help. You're not going to help with this part? No? I'm on my own? Really? I'm on my own? Okay. So, anyhow. So, got myself a new computer. And then, of course, I realized, well, I needed to have a software program to be able to edit. My old computer had Pinnacle. I had Pinnacle. Pinnacle, I could install it on the new computer, I was thinking, but no, it has CDs. And of course, it probably wouldn't work with anyhow. Even if I was to buy a CD driver and put it in there, it would say no, but an old operating system is not going to be compatible. So I'm like, well, okay. So I started looking and researching and looking, and yeah, there's all these different programs out there, but everybody wants a monthly subscription. I mean, you're paying every single month for an editing software program. You can't go to, remember back when Circuit City was around, and you can go in there and buy a game, own the game, play the game, and never pay a dime more. It was $50 at the time, but you can play like I said, like SimCity was one of my favorites, and you purchase it once, that was it, and you can play the game as long as It's not that way no more. I learned that. But I kept looking because I just wanted to buy something outright and not have to pay again. Because again, decided I was going to retire. I got it now, living off Social Security. Spouses, survival benefits, which is again a totally different topic to discuss. But again, we're getting sidetracked because there's a lot of different things that happened a lot in this last year. So anyhow, again, where was I? Just heard some crashing going on next door. They finally brought in a dumpster next door, and my neighbors that have been there for the longest time, since day one, since we've been here in this house for 20, almost 30 years. My wife and I were married for 32, but we, were originally had lived in apartments and stuff. But this house here is right at that framework of, at least 30 years plus old. But they brought out a big dumpster. I'm getting off the topic again. I hear something going on in the background. They're finally cleaning out anyhow. Why do I keep doing that? Okay, so take whatever. Sorry about that again. Yeah. So anyhow, I finally found out I'm like, DaVinci, yeah, let's. It was the only product out there that I can find where I can pay one price and never have to pay again and download it. Okay, so I downloaded that to my new computer. Oh, that was a pain in the butt to begin with. I made sure I wrote down the codes and all this. Now, and you hit I guess, again, I guess we need to go back a little bit further. My first job was actually at that I really enjoyed the most was I worked as a sales associate and then got to be a manager. And guess what? Radio Shack. And Radio Shack back in the day, they sold the very first computers. Back then you had to figure out how to use DOS, and you had to program all that stuff. I got real good at all that, and so it's just amazing that for some reason, throughout all my experience of learning all that new technology forefront, working at Radio Shack and learning DOS, learning computers from day one, always having a computer, that I didn't think nothing of it, no problem. Well, it ended up being a nightmare. I don't know why, but if there was a way to delete something on that program, believe me, I learned every single button not to touch and how many ways you can delete. I mean, so there was many nights where I was just like, I can't believe I just keep hitting the X, and next thing I know, I just wiped everything out, If I was good enough to be able to show you any of, what I experienced with making like the very first 3 videos, the ones that I'm really into, that I like doing, which is the travel type videos. I'm totally was pissed off about too, because when I went to make those videos, I'm thinking, okay, I got my Insta 360 camera, and I got it all figured out, and we're going to go see my parents, and we're going to go on a road trip. Okay? And we're going to be gone for 10 days. It's going to take us 3 days to get there and 3 days to come home, because I didn't want to drive that far with the dogs. And then I was also thinking, once I get there to my parents, that we'll have that time there and we'll be able to talk and have some video there. But that's, again, a totally different topic, story that never happened, where even my parents and stuff are not the same. I don't know why, but again, and getting off topic. So, see, I keep getting off topic because I want to talk about one particular thing, and my mind is racing too much. How these people do it on one takes, I don't know. I really don't. I don't know how they do it. So, anyhow, I lost my train of thought. Where were we? Okay. So I regained my thought. process, hopefully. And so I knew I needed a camera system that I can be able to record the dogs with. So I got the Insta 360 camera. Thought I had everything figured out. Got me a new computer. Thought I had that all figured out. Got me a new programming software, the DaVinci Resolve. Figured I had that all figured out, you know. I have to pay. It was all paid for. Installed on the computer, you know. Good to go. You know, because I don't want no incurring monthly fees, you know. Of course, I still wanted a little bit of music in the background. That was still troubling me. How to get around copyright issues. So, I figured out after research and going on YouTube again, that's where I found a lot of this information. Is just you go out there on YouTube and get enough people out there, they're gonna tell you the ins and outs about almost anything you can think of. So I finally figured out that okay, there is no way around it. They're gonna be, you know, I can't do the old-fashioned way of putting my music that I have. I have to go through a website like that. I'm having a brain fart. I don't know why I had a brain fart with the name, but Epidenic Sound is what I went with. And also, I had to go with somebody else too, with to make it work to where I wanted it, and that was Suno. Suno, you're able to actually create your own music. You put out there what you want, and you write the lyrics. You actually create your own song. And so that was enjoyable, and then Epidenic Sound filled in the rest. So, but that was something that, okay, that's just the way it is. So I had to budget for that. And I'm like, this hobby is starting to get to be expensive, you know? And, to backtrack, the entire time that I was on YouTube, way back in the day, which was 18 years, I've still to this day, I haven't made any money on YouTube. That was never my intention. In fact, when I started YouTube, that idea wasn't even there at all. It was just a way to be able to show your videos to a larger audience and actually share them to like your friends and family and stuff. That's why they limited to that 10-minute thing too. You know, of course today it's totally changed. We'll see how I do on this. I don't know, you know, if I'll continue or not. I mean, this first little bit here, it's been a struggle. Anyhow, so we got all that in place. New computer, new camera gear, because I always had new cameras. I was still going to use my iPhone. Which is that kind of tricky to put the two and two together. I probably would just better off just trying to use my iPhone somehow without dropping it, but I don't want to. Again, that was the idea of getting the 360. Me able to shoot the dogs at the same time. So that was the idea around that. Well, after the trip and my first editing experience, the very first thing I encountered was, why is the quality so terrible? I mean, it was horrible. If you go out there and see the last 3 videos of the trip to Texas, the quality is not there. I don't know if it's because I didn't have the camera in the right place, but from the view from the outside of the car out, shut up, they don't care about you, was no, it was horrific. I mean, I've seen YouTube videos, and they got a camera system, they got it sitting in the car, and they're showing the person, and they show the outside, and you can tell it's still in the vehicle. When they look outside, it looks where you can see. You can see the signs. You can read, welcome to Texas, basically, right? I never did see that sign, by the way. That's why it's never on that video. Curious. I guess. Oh yeah, that's it. I knew it was nobody. This is what it is. It's a typical political support me now. So you know what I do on this? I go there. I'm early in my career. I'm Bernie. Ooh. And they go on, go on. Yeah, I can care less. STOP. Stop. And then it comes back and says that, but I still click report junk, delete, and report junk. And frickin' politics, Again, a totally different topic. That's the only phone calls I get, by the way. Why do we keep getting off topic? I heard that back there. No, I was really, like I said, we were talking about the video quality. The Insta 360, I got the Insta 365, which is the latest edition. That video quality should have been a lot better. So I was sitting there looking at the video quality of it. I was already ticked off. Every time you look outside, you couldn't see it. It didn't look. It was no. It's low quality. I'm obviously I don't have the camera correct or something, or the camera settings. I'll have to figure that out. I'm sure somebody later will tell me what I did wrong, because if that's the quality of that, I don't know. We're not, because I want to be able to travel with the dogs. That's the game plan. And that was my way of being able to just have something stationary. Even if I'm holding it in my hand, I'm able to take a 360 and record everything, but it shouldn't come out looking like the way it did. So that was one of the things that ticked me off right at the beginning. And then, of course, with learning the DaVinci software, that was the learning curve. But guess what? I just had to keep going back on YouTube and going, how do I do this? How do I do this again? How do I do this again? And that's what I kept going back to, is every time I ran into a stumbling block, and there was a lot of them, because believe me, if I knew how to delete something, I knew how to figure that out. I would hit whatever button, thinking I was adding something, and next thing I know, I just deleted half what I just worked on for the last 2 hours. Yeah, so that little trip of 10 days, and basically it ended up being the trip out there to Pensacola, the trip out there to Vicksburg, Mississippi, and then Texas, and then the way home. That took a month to figure out how to make. And at that point, I was like, what the hell? And anybody, in their right mind would be throwing up their hands going, is this really worth it? Oh, and here's the kicker to the whole thing. Remember that new computer? Think about it for a minute. That new computer that I had bought, this has been running at no problem whatsoever. Been editing, me doing all the mistakes and this and that and the other. All of a sudden it starts coming up with this warning. Your C drive is at its limit. I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? The C drive is at the limit. Yeah. Come to find out, after doing some, research on YouTube, that's where I find the answers. Everyone's saying, guess what? There's an app for that. Why do I need to spend money on another app to fix something? The brand new computer. Well, come to find out, even though this computer has over, a terabyte and a half of storage, it's divided into 3 different sections. The first section, which is drive C, is where everything's stored on, is the smallest of all the hard. Why would you do that? I don't understand. I still don't understand if I have it completely fixed correctly. But yeah, I had to go out there on YouTube, keep researching, and finally figured out that I had to go ahead and get this program. I don't even remember what it is. I'm sorry, I'm not helping you with that aspect. Hopefully later when I, think about it and able to do this more correctly, I'll be able to figure that out, how to show everybody. But I went through that struggle of, so basically what I ended up doing is mirroring what was on the C drive, which was this little drive, on finally to the 3rd drive up, which was my terabyte drive. I still have, so now I have 2 C drives according to what's on the computer. It works beautifully now, but I still had that other C drive on this little thing. I don't know how that all works. Right now I know it's working. Something tells me later I'm going to have a problem. I thought I was just taking everything from that little drive and moving it to the bigger drive. Yeah, so that was an ongoing battle constantly with learning the new software. Yeah, I didn't think that I was that rusty. I figured I could figure it out. But evidently, the way things are now, a lot of people think obviously having just a command button, a keyboard, alt, do this button instead of, because my old software program is you actually had to physically go up there and you'd have to click on it and click edit this, and then it would do that. You didn't use all these key prompts, Oh, that brought me into something else. Did you know that on this state-of-the-art iPhone, that it actually saves these files as a HEC, let's call it a HEC file. Something I never, it's a compressed, more detailed file. But guess what? A lot of programs do not like these HEC files. Oh, there's if you're wondering, there's an app for that too. Everybody has an app for everything. Yeah, they have an app for it. So you can get out there and you can get their app and pay for their app to easily take care of your problem, or you can struggle to try to figure out how to do the workaround like I was trying to do. Some of the things I was able to do the workaround. Some of the things I finally had to go ahead and cave in, and like with the computer of that C drive, not being able to migrate it to the drive where the terabyte storage was at, I had to cave in and just, anyhow. Let me think for a minute. I'm sure there's something else that I'm missing before we wrap this up. Anyhow, conclusion. I never expected my life to go this way. Never did. It wasn't supposed to happen this way whatsoever. So, it's a work in progress. No, it's definitely a work in progress. I've never done videos like this whatsoever. It's a totally new learning curve for me, trying to figure out all the ins and outs. I do want to travel more. That is definitely in the playing field. I want to be able to get better video traveling down the road, and that I need to figure out big time, because that video quality just, to my standards, that just sucked. You couldn't read no road signs or nothing. That's supposed to be the whole aspect of being able to look. I can go back and I can watch. And I've done that. I've watched my older stuff back when I was using my camcorder, and it was nothing like that. It just really irritated me. Just doing this freestyle thing, no. Hopefully I'll get better at it. This is me and the dogs. Everyone's all sleeping right now. Everyone's still sleeping? No one come up and say goodbye? Sandy, Dory? And, yes, no, baby? Come on. Hello? No? Anyhow. Got the door open. It's finally fall in Florida, so I got the cool breeze coming in. It feels good outside. Feel it coming in. It's actually 66 degrees outside and 73 inside. Sandy, Dory. Hey, yous. Hello? You all had to sleep? No one can come? Say goodbye? I really can't think of nothing else. Other than the fact that Yeah, I got my new camera. So that'd be the third one to my lineup. You know, the YouTube experience. I had two before, so that's put that in that platform, and hopefully I can figure out how to work it correctly and get better quality video out of it. And still learning the DaVinci Resolve software. Hopefully I'll get better at doing that. Again, go out there to YouTube, and YouTube usually has an answer, or there's an app for it. No, I'm tired of it. There's an app for that. I got so many apps on my phone, I'm like, what the heck app does this do anymore? Hey, anybody can say, Sandy, Dory. Hello? Come on. Come on, girls. You're supposed to be part of the deal. That over here, you don't need to eat that. No, the camera's over here. Where's your sister? Sandy. Sandy girl. Thanks, everyone. I guess Dory's the only one that can come out and say goodbye. Sandy, you coming? Sandy. Behind my chair. Yeah, hopefully we'll get better at this. Will we get better at this? I hope so. We have to get better at this because this one I think really sucked. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see what they all think about it. We tried. So, yeah. Yeah, it's nice out. We'll see you on the next side road.